This is no laughing matter, XRP investors. The Federal Reserve has no choice but to act, despite the fact that the numbers are piling up, and one of the most crypto-averse U.S. organizations has decided to completely reverse its stance. Greetings, lovely folks, shalom, and moneymakers. As Friday winds down, things are getting fascinating in the cryptocurrency market. It will be fascinating to observe the market's reactions to today's news stories or when the markets open for business. Please, all I ask is that you bestow onto me that radiant grin so that I can radiate those positive energy. The like button has to be smashed. Just so you know, there hasn't been much engagement on these videos as of late. With over 50,000 views, just one video managed to garner 2,000 likes. Either that, or your finger is exhausted from, well, the summer break. What the hey, your finger has been all feeble and unresponsive lately? I have no idea what's going on. Thus, let's aim for 2,000 likes on this video. All right then, let's dive in. As of right now, XRP is trading at $2.80, having fallen below the $2.72 support level. After dropping to $2.70, XRP has recovered and is presently trading at $2.80. Also, Ethereum is back over $4,000, Solana is back over $200, and Bitcoin is back over $110,000. The overwhelming dread and sell-offs yesterday caused us to experience fear at $28. Things are starting to recover slightly. Ethereum and Solana are both up 5%. Just a little bit more heat is being generated. The return of Aster has resulted in a 14% increase. Thus, there has been some improvement in the cryptocurrency market. Let this serve as a gentle reminder that the cryptocurrency industry it's not working. That was a roller coaster, man. Additionally, the market is subject to fluctuations. That's how the game is played. It is a component of the path, and honestly, crypto might not be the best fit for you if you can't handle these fluctuations, can you? I mean, this is a component of it. Plus, the intraday changes over the last several weeks have been rather small, haven't they? Extreme 20 to 30% declines and pops have happened to us in the span of a single day. Therefore, you might be of a different age if a 4, 5, or 10% drop causes you heartburn. Well, guess what? I must admit something. Crypto investment isn't a headache for a 25-year-old like Josh. Am I not just 21 years old? This is the inevitable result of a long-term investment in the cryptocurrency market. Of course, I'm joking. I'll be even more ripe at 39 soon, won't I? I'm already a ripe 38. Consequently, the outcome of this situation in the cryptocurrency market will be highly intriguing to observe. Is it possible to discern some forward motion? Would it be possible to observe some improvement here? Options are expiring on Friday, so there may be some movement in this situation tonight. We did begin the day with the released PCE data. Core PCE was 2.9%, which was again in line with predictions, while PCE inflation for August, the favored inflation measure of the Federal Reserve, was 2.7%. Accordingly, the results were as anticipated. The fact that it is the highest rate since February was the sole concern. The Fed has dropped rates, so it's not all bad news. We can observe this in the near future, as the sole cut has occurred once, and inflation is still on the rise. However, following their statements, they no longer perceive inflation as a driving factor and have stated that they are no longer aiming to reach the 2% target. We're paying closer attention to the labor market, and it's telling us that we should start cutting down on GDP. We should get going. That was, to be honest, somewhat conflicting. This past day was powerful. Therefore, lowering interest rates may not be the best course of action, but it appears the Fed will go ahead and do it nevertheless. There is still a 90% chance of it happening. Nothing changed today, so next month should be interesting. In what time frame will it be delivered? The time remaining is 4 weeks plus 5 days. Based on their statements and the odds, the Federal Reserve is likely to cut interest rates once again. After that, its next move will be uncertain. Perhaps they will examine the figures and decide that it's okay after another 25 BPS and another 25 BPS next month. Perhaps it's time to end this. We cut down on it. Regardless, Secretary Besant stated yesterday that they anticipate a decrease of approximately 1% going forward. Thus, it will be really intriguing to observe. It seems like a lot of you are interested in this, so I thought it was fascinating. U.S. news is something you cover extensively on the channel, Avi. And what's occurring in the U.S.? What happens in the U.S. has a significant impact on the crypto market, as we have lately observed. The same is true for the stock market. The majority of this channel's viewers are American, making up around 60% of the total. Naturally, the audience is going to be the primary focus of our discussion. I see. Sell America no more, though, as you can see for yourself. Most of the money is still going into American stocks. At current levels, foreign investors own approximately 30% of the U.S. equity market, which is higher than the long-term average and close to record highs. Therefore, the majority of the world's population will own shares in American corporations. Also, most of the stocks are denominated in dollars, correct? I thought a lot of people held USTD, didn't they? A euro stablecoin is not in their possession. That is why events in the United States significantly impact the cryptocurrency market. That is why the actions of the SEC and the President of the U.S. are still a topic of much discussion. Plus, it's less than what Germany's president said just today regarding cryptocurrency. It did have an effect when Germans started selling Bitcoin. However, I do not believe that any statement made by the German chancellor would impact the cryptocurrency market. This is the reason we do it then. There was a slight discordance. My apologies. Don't think I own that register. We do it this way. Friday night has arrived. Friday night is the only reason I work. Oh my goodness. I completely lost track of the remainder of the words. I really don't want to ruin it by performing that embarrassing thing when you go, no, for example. Yeah, sure. I had a friend who wasn't very fluent in English, you know. However, he used to sing Scorpions and especially like Pink Floyd's Story Time and other tunes. Due to his lack of knowledge in English, that is how he would perform the song. Yeah, that was a good time. When you can't remember the words, I'm sure that's what you do as well in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. As we examine the graph, I'd like to bring to your attention that our partner, BTCC, can provide you with the option to capitalize on the markets if you're interested. You can receive a 10% bonus on deposits over 500 USDT and a maximum bonus of $10,000 per user if you join up through my link. Not to mention the NBA players Jaren Jackson Jr. autographed jersey and the $500,000 in prize money. Follow the link in the description below if you're interested. You have the option to go long or short depending on your prediction of the market's direction. But seriously, trade with caution. Sure, I've reaped substantial profits via leverage, but I've also incurred substantial losses. Despite BTCC's 14 years in the industry, we have witnessed exchanges go out of business and going solvent dispose of their positions. Make sure you have access to the user agreement and read it. Absolutely no VPN or know your customer requirements. You may find the link in the description below. Regarding the financial advice, I want to emphasize that I will never recommend buying with the intention of selling or holding on to it. Before putting your money into anything, you should always perform your own research. Nobody else is using TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or Telegram to represent myself. Since I exclusively use YouTube, I will never direct message you. Out there, please exercise extreme caution. I understand. Proceed with me to the second story I had intended to share. Remember when the first Bitcoin ETF was announced? It was one of the largest financial organizations, which possesses assets equal to BlackRock's. They said no, they would not provide their consumers with the opportunity to participate in the cryptocurrency market. No way, we won't be doing that. They stood out. Okay, in the end, we'll let it through. All the major players, including JP Morgan, agreed. However, they have just turned around. for sure. Vanguard is looking to provide brokerage clients with access to crypto ETFs, according to Eleanor. Yes, Eleanor. She dropped the bomb. Those in the know have heard that Vanguard, the #2 asset manager in the world, is gearing up to make crypto exchange-traded funds, ETFs, available on its brokerage platform. On top of that, Bloomberg's Eric reports that Vanguard is trying to lift the Bitcoin ETF ban, often known as cutting ties. LOL. New dynamics have emerged. Eleanor, you got the scoop. Like you, we overheard rumblings about this. Even more astute than Salem's beloved Bitcoin and Ethereum exchange-traded funds, ETFs, the CEO of which was a midwife at the IBITS. Accordingly, he is aware. Do you recall that their former CEO had the audacity to say no to crypto assets? You do remember May, don't you? We did mention that the new CEO could turn this around, didn't we? Do you recall that I covered this event? Perhaps Eric was the one who brought it up first. Plus, the CEO had already stated that they wouldn't do it at the moment, correct? This, according to Eric, will make the day of all the crypto bulls who are selling off their holdings because Bitcoin had a poor week following a 350% increase much better. 40 million people have put their money into Vanguard Trust. Of course, not everyone is into Bitcoin, but that's still a lot. By a factor of 2, they outstrip all other U.S. fund companies. Holy cow, this is massive. Plus, I have no idea what to call this. Has the number of crypto investors reached 50 million? I am uncertain. I need to use my brain on that. This is how, nonetheless, we conveyed the significance of 401ks. I have no idea how many of you have Vanguard accounts, but this is equally crucial. So, this creates an entirely new class of funds that previously couldn't invest in crypto but can now. They will also have access to XRP ETFs if they are approved soon. Naturally, that may have an impact on the XRP price. Thus, it is possible that the market is reacting positively to this news by rising. It might be helpful to examine this market alone. The market is about to reach levels where the S&P 500 is also reaching. Perhaps the market is about to have a big day because it is Friday, Freaky Friday. But time will tell. How this unfolds over the weekend will be interesting to watch. To put it mildly, it will be really intriguing. Never again will I tell you not to look at the links in the description below. The affiliate links in question. Leave a remark. Help with infinity and beyond, as well as the space for comments. Has the number of likes reached 2,000? Would it be feasible for us to do it? With your help, I believe we can succeed. Excuse me, guys. A video of ours is receiving around 15,000 to 20,000 views. 1%. We can reduce it by 10%. No way. For tuning in, I am grateful. Perhaps we will cross paths again soon. Also, let's do what I always do and make a ton of money. This was transcribed using turboscribe.ai. Remove this message by subscribing to Unlimited.